My Michigan Wolverines fell very, very short of the Oklahoma Sooners. Michigan lost this game 24-13. I wrote my first, because I do these in bullet points on my papers. First bullet point is that I really don't want to talk about this game. But I also think I'm probably going to spend the most time talking about this game because it made me very angry. Bryce Underwood didn't look like anything because we didn't let him throw the ball. He went 9 for 24, 142 yards. Most basic stat line I think that I've seen in a long time. Justice Haynes had a really good game. Decent game. He had 75 of his 125 yards on one play, and that was also his touchdown. Michigan on the defensive side of things looked pretty good. I mean, I felt like John Mateer really could have taken advantage of this game a lot more. There were a lot of moments where he missed a throw where he could have layered one over the top and hit us for a big play. There was another play where he overthrew the guy. We got an interception out of it. The guy was wide open. He just overthrew him. Michigan's defense did look really good. I mean, they felt like they played really good. They got to John Mateer quite a bit. So they couldn't bring him down. He would just make huge plays after huge play, run out with his feet. They would get those really good designed runs that just torched us, man. It just felt like the defense had way too many people open. I mean, it felt like the zones were off. Something was just terribly off. It got a little bit better once Jaysean Barnum came back. I think he's a real leader for that defense, and I think without him, they're going to struggle. Fortunately, he's back, but he's a little banged up. His ankle didn't look great, so I think Michigan just needs to be more consistent on defense, be able to bring down the quarterback instead of just get to him. It made me so mad. I'm really not happy about this game. We had it. They gave us the game, man. It looked like the beginning of last season. That's the issue I have with this. It looked like the beginning of last season where we just aren't throwing the ball. We're throwing screenplays to our wide receivers who just aren't that good. They're not good enough to make plays in open space. Fred Moore was supposed to be our speedster this year. Well, it turns out he can't even beat out a sophomore for that job. Michigan's offensive line just looked horrible. I mean, there was a play in the third quarter where it was a design run for Bryce Underwood. He kind of snaps it, takes off to run, and then the pulling guard just didn't block the guy. The offensive line has to get better for Michigan. They were terrible yesterday. Absolutely terrible. Not to the level of what we expect from a Michigan Wolverines team. They have to get better. They absolutely have to get better on the offensive line. And the D-line has to be able to bring down a quarterback. If you can get to the quarterback, it doesn't do anything if you can't tackle him. That just makes the play worse because then he gets out of the pocket. Now the play's broken down. Now he's going to make a big play. You can't allow that. You cannot. You have to take down the quarterback. You have to tackle the guy. For it to be a sack, you have to tackle the guy. I will say I do want to give a little bit of grace to the defense because they were able to get to John Mateer. They just couldn't bring him down. I feel like if they were going to be able to bring him down, we would be talking a lot different about this defense. I think Wink Martindale didn't call a great game, but he played a decent game. He definitely got out coached with those QB runs. He needs to be a lot better at defending those, get the defense more ready for those. But it's just that offense was so frustrating to watch. So frustrating to watch. Because we did not let Bryce Underwood throw the ball whatsoever. And it was one of the most frustrating things I've ever watched. The offensive line needs to be better. The D-line has to be able to tackle the quarterback. Michigan has a long ways to go. I think, if anything, we have to get better at receiver. Maybe that's why we didn't want to throw the ball, because we don't have any receivers. I think that's been the issue. I mean, Donovan McCulley, though, you watch him make a helmet top catch. He caught the ball off of Oklahoma's helmet. And we don't want to continue to throw the ball downfield to him. I'm going to move on. John Mateer, he played a great game. I mean, he went 21 for 34, 270 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. He also had 74 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Just a great game from John Mateer. He looks like an absolute stud. He looked like one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in an Oklahoma uniform since a Jalen Hurts. I mean, at Caleb Williams, but I don't think we count Caleb Williams as an Oklahoma quarterback. So you got to be excited. If you're an Oklahoma fan, you've got to be excited about John Mateer. I mean, the way that he was able to not only fix broken plays, but also make plays within the structure of the offense. I mean, he knows Ben Arbuckle. He knows the offense, even though everything's new. It's not really new for him. And I think you saw that because he knew exactly where his receivers were going to be. He knew exactly who was going to be open and when. And the ball was on time every single play. The only time it wasn't on time was if or it wasn't a good throw, it was always on time. So you have to be able to not only have a little bit of touch on your throws, but also step into throws instead of kind of falling backwards a little bit. I think that's what happened on that interception. That's why he overthrew it. Ended up an interception going the other way for the Michigan Wolverines. I think he just needs to get better at that. Needs to be able to layer the ball over the top, over the defensive backs rather than just past the defensive back. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. I think he could legitimately be a Heisman Trophy candidate this year. He is that good. I called him an absolute superstar in here, in this little bit that I have written down about OU. Also, Deion Burks. It was personal. All right, he had 7 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown. And then he had on that little flick play, short pass, just an absolute great play design, by the way. I think you saw it later in the game, and Jayshon Barnum was able to get there. We weren't early in the game. Just a rough game for the Wolverines, right? I mean, again, John Mateer, he looked really good. Just has to be able to layer the ball. That's really his only issue. And I think if he's able to do that, then Oklahoma might be what Florida was supposed to be this year. We'll get to Florida later whenever we preview their upcoming game this weekend. But they might be really good. They have a really difficult schedule, but I think they're one of those teams that can just reach up and bite you, right? Reach up and bite one of those really top teams. They got a tough schedule coming up, but I think that they're going to be okay, really. I mean, Oklahoma was really good. The defense looked really good. I know they weren't really challenged much because Michigan refused to throw the ball downfield. But they looked really good for what they did. They stopped the run really well. I mean, again, they gave up the one big play for Justice Haynes that went 75 yards for a touchdown. But if you take that out, then Justice Haynes only had 75 yards. I mean, he doubled his rushing total from that game on one play. So, I mean, give all the props in the world. The defenses, for the Oklahoma defense, they played lights out really, really well. They were able to cover our receivers, even though they're not very good. They destroyed our offensive line. The offensive line was abysmal yesterday. A Sharon Moore team should never have an offensive line that is that bad. And we kept getting hurt, by the way. Our strength coach, maybe he needs to go. Does he need to go? Because we had Ben Herbert 3 years ago. Never did that happen. Never did a team get that injured under Ben Herbert. He's in the NFL now with Harbaugh, along with all of our other good coaches. I miss them. I miss them greatly. But